Our guest says the federal government has shown, quote, at best an incomplete understanding of our current housing crisis. Sounds like he's pulling his punches a bit there. We are joined by Mike Moffatt, Assistant Professor in the Business Economics and Public Policy Group at Ivey Business School and Senior Director of Policy and Innovation at the Smart Prosperity Institute. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
I see you have retweeted with approval today a comment by Scotia that the government is essentially igniting the housing market, partly with this new first-time home buyers tax-free savings plan. So, we're allegedly trying to cushion people from inflation. The Bank of Canada is raising borrowing costs, but you reckon that there's a case to be made the federal government is simply inflaming housing prices?
Yeah, absolutely. That in Canada, we have a shortage of housing. We don't have a shortage of green pieces of paper. So the idea that we're going to solve a supply shortage through demand side instruments simply doesn't make any sense. That unfortunately in this budget, there was absolutely nothing on housing. The government itself says that we need about 350,000 homes built in this country every year. TD Economics puts us at the next couple of years just over 200,000 a year. So, our projections show that we're only building about half of what we need, and there's nothing in this budget to help increase that figure.
Meanwhile, bringing in immigrants at a record pace.
Yeah, that our population rose by over 1 million people in 2022. So part of that was due to the federal government's increased immigration targets, and part of that is due to a big increase in the number of international students. The federal government has made a number of reforms to international student visas over the last year or last few years to help push enrollments up, and they've worked. They work very well, but we're not building a lot of student residences in this country. So in a lot of college towns like Guelph and London and Kingston, rents are up 20 to 25% year over year.
You do, in fairness, you do say that the government is recognizing a shortage of homes as a problem.
Yeah, and that's part of the disconnect of this budget, that, they're not suggesting that this is simply, speculator demand or Airbnbs or financialization, some of those buzzwords that we hear quite a bit. The budget makes clear that we have a supply shortage. And I think that's what's disappointing about it, that it correctly diagnoses the situation, but doesn't do anything to address it.
You highlight the plight of international students, and I have read stories saying that it's really unfair bringing in international students, but making it impossible for them to find a place to live.
Yeah, absolutely. That we're hearing stories in the news of 15 or 20 people, international students, sharing a home. We had a fire in my hometown of London, Ontario, near the local college. They discovered 15 international students living in a fairly small bungalow. And while the government has some programs to help people pay the rent, international students aren't eligible for those programs. They're only for Canadian citizens and permanent residents. So, we're inviting a lot of really talented people to this country who would like to stay and become permanent residents, but we're not treating them very well. And I think that's unfortunate.
Do you think we should start thinking about more manufactured housing? I mean, trailer parks is a pejorative term. They've got an awful lot better in recent years. Lower cost housing options like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the federal government, for instance, has innovation programs for things like plant proteins and lentils. And, I think those are great, but we don't have an innovation program for housing. We don't have anything to change the way we build homes, to manufacture homes. We had a couple great mass timber projects in Toronto. Mm-hmm. And one of the big challenges of getting those built was insurance, that insurers don't want to touch these new building models. And that's the kind of thing that the federal government could help with insurance policies for manufactured homes, for new technologies like mass timber, so we can produce more and better homes faster and cheaper.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, are we up against vested interests in the housing market, for example, the big developers, and then, of course, NIMBY politicians?
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of people in this country who are quite happy with high home prices and don't really want to see extra supply come on market. And we know when big REITs invest in apartment buildings, buy up apartment buildings, one of the things they say in their financial disclosures is one of their material risks is too much supply coming on the market. So absolutely, there are some vested interests in this country who kind of like the status quo and don't want to see us build more housing.
We hear that a lot of people, they want just a detached home in the suburbs with land, and then the environmentally minded critics will say, well, that's an environmental disaster, transit, etc., can't reach them. Do you think Canadians could be persuaded to accept maybe townhouses with a much smaller footprint?
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's nothing that's going unpurchased. That when developers build something, it gets snapped up right away. That vacancies are at an all-time low. So I think it's more of a regulatory issue. If we allow for 6-story walk-ups for mass timber buildings, for row houses and townhouses and those kinds of things, they will get bought up by either Canadians or again, homes for international students. So I don't think the question is that, people aren't buying certain types of property. I think the issue is more that we just can't build those properties fast enough under the current regulatory regime.